Joe Rogan has gotten into hot water once again because of something he said about the COVID vaccine. Now, I'm going to play the clip and you can decide for yourself, but first, this is coming from Media Matters. And I, as a side note, just love when you have these publications like The Hill sourcing to Media Matters as if they were some legit publication or news source. Their entire job at Media Matters is to pay people to watch shows like Joe Rogan Experience and The Ben Shapiro Show, and to take some weird thing they say out of context and pretend it's the end of the world. So Media Matters is a joke and you should not take them seriously. But here's what Joe Rogan said, and we have it thanks to the wonderful people at Media Matters.
Yeah, I think for the most part it's safe to get vaccinated. I do. But if you're like 21 years old and you say to me, should I get vaccinated? I go, no. Yeah. Are you healthy? If you're a healthy person and you're exercising all the time and you're young and you're eating well, I don't think you need to worry about this.
Now, you can agree with him or you can disagree with him. And to be honest, at the end of the day, it's not that big a deal. He has his opinions and he should be able to say his opinion on his own show. So I really don't understand why this is such a huge thing and why it necessitates that Joe Rogan be trending on Twitter for a couple of hours. But actually, I do. It's not really about what Joe Rogan said about COVID. It's the fact that they just don't like Joe Rogan, which is evidenced in this article. If you read it from Media Matters, they say that he's one of the most influential podcast hosts in the world, which he is. He basically started podcasts. But apparently, he has frequently used his podcast to spread conspiracy theories, espouse dangerous COVID-19 misinformation, and attack trans people. So it's not really about what he said in this specific instance. People have already tried to cancel Joe Rogan multiple times. They're going to keep doing it. This is just another thing they want to use, another arrow in their quiver, so to speak. And you can tell that's the case because of how places like The Verge report this story. Instead of saying this is what Joe Rogan said, the headline is Spotify is okay with Joe Rogan telling 21-year-olds not to get vaccinated. That's not the story. The story should not be how Spotify responded to it or didn't respond to it. It should be what Joe Rogan said. And even that shouldn't be a story, but I digress. This just goes to show that what they actually want to happen is Spotify to crack down and tell Joe Rogan that he can't say things like that. They want to take away his ability to speak his mind. That's what they want to do. Because The Verge, just like Media Matters, say that he has courted multiple controversies, particularly around remarks that have been criticized as transphobic, and that Spotify employees in the past have voiced their dissatisfaction at their employer paying Joe Rogan and keeping his podcast on Spotify. And once again, this shows that it's not really about what Joe Rogan said in this specific instance, it's about who he is and things that he said in the past. Whenever he says something that they don't like, they're going to bring up old controversies that they manufactured, like this one, and pretend that it means that he should not be employed at Spotify, that Spotify shouldn't host his podcast. And I hate this new push for people at companies to demand things from their superiors. Like here you've had Spotify employees who said they were very upset that Joe Rogan has a job or is paid by Spotify. That's not their place. They are not the people who are making those decisions, so it doesn't really matter if they're upset by it. It's irrelevant. All of this is just, once again, a push to try and cancel Joe Rogan. And I like Joe Rogan. I think he brings up some good points. And I hate the fact that you have so-called media outlets who are actually just activists, and they talk about how Spotify should get rid of Joe Rogan because of nonsense like this. So this controversy, it's not really controversial. If you disagree with him, if you agree with him, it doesn't really matter. The main issue is that Joe Rogan is Joe Rogan, and everyone already likes him or hates him, and if you hate him, I guess that means you want Spotify to just drop him. Because we can't just agree to disagree anymore. That's not acceptable.